Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to a third episode in the podcast series From the Margins to the Mainstream, highlighting the journey of the informal waste pickers community in Bengaluru, a community which has been sidelined for far too long and forced to live in the dark. For this first segment, let me welcome Lalita and Pavitra from WaterAid, who have been associated with the Samohika Shakti project for over 2 years now and are independently managing 3 slums each.
My name is Lalita. I have been working at WaterAid for roughly 2 years now. I have been working in the NGO sector for over 8 years now. It was a different experience at the other NGOs. For instance, I have worked in health related or with children. Now it has been 2 years since I started working at WaterAid. More about me, I live in Bangalore and I have 2 kids. That's about it.
So Lalita, when you started working on the Samohika Shakti project, what challenges did you face?
With this project, I had no idea that there would be so many challenges, especially because I had never worked on such a project. Here, we have to work closely with a community, which is a slum. If we need to interact with the people of these communities, we should get permission from their leaders first because they are very reserved and close-knit. They feel that no NGO should be allowed to interact with the community. They are scared that the NGOs would exploit them for their own benefit.
Now that you have worked on all these challenges, how did you build rapport there?
In terms of rapport, I have previous experience working in the slum, but not as a regular, but as a field counselor working closely with the kids. In this case, since I have to work directly with the community, we started doing regular house visits, sit down, and then listen to what they have to say. With this, they feel heard, that someone has come to listen to their difficulties. We initially introduced ourselves that we are here from WaterAid and that we are here to understand all the problems that you are facing. Through these conversations, I started understanding their regular problems and issues. It doesn't matter what they say, I heard all of it. And once they trusted us, they started stating all of their problems, like there is not enough space to sit, there are no toilets. We spent considerable time at their place, eating together and discussing their problems. We also engaged with the kids in the households too. Another strategy that worked for us is talking to them in their mother tongue. That made them trust us more and become comfortable around us. And now, finally, we have built a good rapport with the community. Although it did take some time, now things are looking up.
Now, you have built a good rapport in the community, be it whatever that WaterAid is doing. If there is no participation from the community, then this is all pointless, right? So, community participation, be it from the men or women, how did you ensure community participation?
When you go to the community, you have to do sessions on hygiene, MHM, and water. Initially, when we did these sessions, we used to sit in a dedicated place and conduct this, or sometimes in one of the community members' house verandas. So people from nearby used to come and attend all of these sessions. What we were doing at that time was maintaining a register and then collecting their signatures to understand who turned up and who didn't. And for those who didn't turn up, we would visit them at their homes and do individual one-on-one sessions for them. We sometimes include the neighbors and the people in the vicinity too. Because we were mostly ladies, it was obvious that more ladies would turn up. So we would motivate the men also to participate, since this is something that they should be aware of. Water issues, hygiene, MHM. Usually only about 10% of the men would turn up. We talk about cleanliness and these topics in these sessions. So this way we try our best to get everyone to participate.
ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಮೇಡಮ್.
If we need to improve the participation from the men's side, what do we need to do differently?
So we try to make them understand that these are topics that you should also be aware of. You should be aware of the issues that the girls in your homes face. So if you attend our sessions, you will understand all this. If I directly call them, they usually don't show up. So instead, I request their wives at home to bring them along for these sessions. But there are some men who do turn up, who are genuinely interested because there are serious problems in the area that they are aware of. So they do turn up for the talks around toilet and water issues, but not so much for the MHM related issues. And so I asked their wives to bring them along for these sessions.
So we spoke about all this. What else can be done to improve the situation? What other requirements are there in the community?
I have identified a few areas recently, about 6 to 7 new areas in total. We would need to work there permanently on the water and the sanitary fronts. Since these problems are not temporary, other NGOs function in the form of campaigns. But our work is permanent because we are solving bigger problems like water sanitation. And this is the same thing that I explained to them too, that there are these big permanent problems we are trying to solve for you. In the areas I recently shortlisted, there were non-notified slums. They are all residing on private land. There are no official records. Instead, they live under some owner. So we are not allowed to help them out because of this. And since we are also now focusing on the waste pickers, they are part of different communities. It could be a community construction laborers. If we can help them out, then nothing like it. They too have serious water sanitation problems. Some people from the new prospective areas have told me that for water, they are ready to pay for it from a water tank. They say that they are helpless when it comes to toilets, flushing them, etc. So my takeaway is that even if there are no private lands, we should help them by building a facility for them. There are many migrant workers in Bangalore. If they also have these facilities, I think it will be good.
We spoke about the notified areas first. But when it comes to non-notified areas, what are the challenges you have faced?
With the non-notified areas, we don't know who the owner is, ma'am. The owner's thought process is, we just need a place to rent out and to make money. They don't need to worry about water or toilets as long as they are paid the monthly rent. Some owners are not willing to divulge their names. On the other hand, someone like a local leader or a politician would have given someone a place. People are not ready to tell the name of the leader of that area. Even the community members have no idea. Owner identification is usually a big challenge. Even with that, receiving permission is a bigger challenge. They are worried that if they provide the permission, what if these people decide to settle here permanently? People are just people. As a community leader too, they all face challenges. If the government can intervene or help out, if BBMP can step in and help the migrant workers, then it would be easier to get things done here. It's the ownership problem that is a big concern here. When I first came to the Kunti village area, I was a little afraid because there are not too many people here. I did not know anyone here too. So I became friendly with the young girls and the school-going kids around here and started with the MHM sessions here with just about 4 to 5 people. Then I started stressing on why this is important to different groups here and started talking about hygiene and MHM in detail. These small group sessions really helped kick things off.
You've been to both types of slums and dealt with all these challenges. What have you personally learned from this experience?
Madam, there are way too many key learnings here. Because as I said, when I worked at a different organization, it was more around health and kids specifically. I had no idea about the waste picking communities and that there were so many such communities in Bangalore. I had no idea that certain familiar locations in Bangalore had such communities in the vicinity and that people made a living by doing this. We assume that the basic necessities to be in place for anyone to live a decent life. Here, though the girls and the women are independent, they too have husbands and children at home that they don't depend on anyone else but themselves. They are truly independent. They do a good job waste picking and making a good living for their families. Of course, they have water sanitation problems at home and yet they do their best to ensure that their families lead a good lifestyle. I used to think as a single parent that my life would be limited and that I would have a tough future ahead of me. But the more I got to know people in the community, the more I realized that I have no reason to be depressed or disappointed. Seeing how responsible women handle things here was an eye-opener for me. Again, in spite of difficulties, they are all happy in their small houses. We all aspire for a big house and yet we are unhappy. But here they are all very happy living together in a single room. Seeing all of this, it gives me a lot of courage and confidence, which helped me focus on my job with even more dedication. So overall, it brought me a lot of happiness and I learned a ton from working with this community and this slum.
ನನಗೆ ಈ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಗೆ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಈ ಸ್ಲಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ
In your experience, when you first went to the community, what was the situation like? Were they aware of all the problems that they were facing?
The first time I went to the village to do an MHM session, I picked about 5 adolescent kids to have a session with. They were very shy and ashamed to talk about all of these sensitive topics in an open setting. They said, "Don't tell us all these things. What do you want us to do with all this?" I explained to them that this is all health related and it is important to talk about this openly. They were very shy to talk about all this. Now they are of the opinion we should talk about this because the village believes in superstitions that are untrue. There is a custom to not bathe during your periods and not go to the temple at that time. It's existent everywhere, but more so in these communities. We walk them through the importance of keeping a pad clean and not reusing them or washing them and using them again. Or in some cases, they don't even wear pads because of a mind block. We explain that to take care of their health, they need to stay clean during their period and eat well. This is not a disease where you have to starve yourself. Instead, this is what Mother Nature has provided you with and you should eat well and stay clean during this time. When their stomachs hurt, they usually drink cumin seed soaked water or they take medication. But what we inform them is that doing all this will cause more problems for them in the future. Drink hot water instead and keep yourself clean during that time to ensure good health. Even when they go out, they have problems with their periods. So we have told them to carry a pad with them. And if you can't, then rest at home and do not put your body under stress. But if they are insistent to go, then we have taught them to carry a pad with them in their bags. Now, after so many sessions, they are slowly understanding the importance of MHM and good hygiene. They have realized that these people are here to help us improve our health and nothing else. They've stopped with the gossips on these topics now. Earlier, they were hesitant and shy to talk about all this in their own language, but now they all talk boldly on these subjects. My name is Pavitra and I have been living in Bangalore for about 17 years. Regarding community work, I have been working for the last 7 to 8 years in these communities, mainly in the education and health space. I have been with WaterAid since 2021 and have been working as a community facilitator on water issues since then.
ಈಗ ಸಾಮೂಹಿಕ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು
As part of the Samuhika Shakti project, which areas have you handled?
ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದು
Can you share with me what was the first reaction response?
ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
Cement Colony is located on JC Road. Another community is in Banshankri Shakambri Nagar. I'm the first one who went there. I didn't take anyone with me. So when I first visited the community, the first thing we observed was the area. When I saw the people there, I observed that they mostly depend on their leader. If we wanted to assign a volunteer, we need the leader's permission. If they wanted to speak with us, they needed the leader's permission. At that time, I met the leader and spoke to that leader. I asked him for his phone number. I said, "We will invite you to our events. We need your support." And he replied, "There is no issue. I will give you my phone number. But if you ever call me, the police will come for you the next day. It's a moment I will never forget." I didn't know what was happening. I said, "No problem, sir." And then I left from there. A volunteer who was with me told me later that there are a few rowdies here and that he is a big one. I was so scared after that incident that I was in tears. After that problem, the next one was in Shakambri Nagar. The people I met there were very disrespectful and irresponsible. When we said we are from WaterAid, they didn't believe us and they assumed that we are from a government organization like BBMP. They said, "You're going to take our money and cheat us and you're not going to get anything done." It hurt me when they said that. People also said that there were a lot of drug users in that community. They suggested that we should be careful. I was very scared and it was the first time for me. I have worked in communities for many years, but that kind of experience was the first time for me in these two areas.
ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು
How did you face all the resistance after working so hard?
ಹೇಗೆ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಹೇಗೆ
How did you build trust and rapport?
ರ್ಯಾಪೋ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ?
Madam, any community that we go for the first time is always wary of us. They don't accept us. Whether it's a school, Anganwadi, or a community, no one accepts us initially. We have to become one of them. That's our aim. Every time we go there, we smile at them, talk to them with love, talk with respect, and give more weight to their opinions. If they're drinking tea or coffee, sometimes they invite us and say, "Are you fine? Come in and have some coffee." So, even if we don't want any, it's important for us to accept the invitation and spend some time with them. I had this one experience in Shakambri Nagar. In the community, there is a lady leader, so people are very dependent on her. If we need to get any work done, we need to build a rapport with her. And she wasn't responding to us. We waited for 1 month and then 2, but no reply. But I didn't give up. I would go to her house daily and make small talk with her, asking her if she was okay, if she had coffee. She still never responded to us. One day, she was eating betel leaf and nuts. I said, "Auntie, I like this very much. Will you give me some?" From that day on, she always greeted me with love. Every time she sees me, she asks me if I want betel leaf and nuts. You understand their weakness and talk to them lovingly and then build a rapport in such communities. And today, they give me so much respect and love in both the areas.
ಸೊ ನೀವೀಗ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ
In the communities, you want women to participate.
ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಎನ್ಶೂರ್
How do you ensure they do? And how do you maintain everything in the record?
We mostly host programs related to health. If we go announce this, then no one will come. So we prioritize the Anganwadi's events first. They have an adolescent group. When they host events, we go and participate in those. There, we give information about health and we raise awareness about cleanliness. There are pregnant women and young children. There are more of those in the Anganwadis. So, we do events at the Anganwadis first. After that, the people become familiar with us. With the help of the volunteer, we do door to door visits. Even if we don't raise awareness, we still try to visit 10 to 15 homes every day. After that, we target small groups and give them practical lessons on washing hands, encouraging the younger children also to participate. When we get the parents and the children to practically participate, everybody is more interested and more people participate. We have adopted these ideas from our experiences.
ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಶ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಶ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ? WaterAid ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಿಂದ. ಹೇಳಿ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ. WaterAid. Very good.
The ladies work in the mornings and afternoon. In the evenings, when they're free, they make SSG groups and hold some programs. We go to those and participate in those meetings and raise awareness. We can get through to people better and tell them about our purpose. We reach more people in such group events. When we have these programs in the Anganwadis, in the SSG groups, and raise awareness to understand how many people participated, we document all of that information. How many women, how many men, age-wise, children, all that, we document all of it. With the help of the volunteers, we understand which areas people haven't participated from, and we go there and we make small groups and we do programs there. We educate the groups about cleanliness and we have hosted many programs there. In addition to this, we have also hosted hand wash day, water day, and toilet day. Through all these programs, we try our best to raise more awareness.
You've told me your challenges from the beginning. And now that you have spent some considerable time here, what have you learned from these communities?
Firstly, you have to be patient and courageous. Whichever community we go to, we have to be very patient. Sometimes they are in different moods and they can take that out on us. At those times, we should not lose our patience. And no matter what our state of mind is, or how stressed we are, we need to put all that aside and talk to them with love, respect, and patience, lots of patience. With patience, we can achieve our goals in these communities.
You have been working hard in these communities for more than 2.5 years. You have understood all their challenges and are working to resolve them. What else do you think can be done to improve their lives?
We have built toilets where there were none. Where there was no water, we have made arrangements for it. In addition to all this, the drainage system. When it rains, there are drainage issues. All the rainwater floods the houses. People suffer a lot because of it. If it rains for a day or two, water floods the houses of the communities. If we are able to help them out, the community members would be appreciative of this. In another community, there are drainage water leakages near people's houses. Because of that, they are having a lot of trouble with cleanliness and the drainage. I think it would be good if we work on it. There is a need for it in both our communities.
You mentioned that there are people struggling with all these issues in these communities. Then why is it that people are still resistant to change and accepting help from groups and institutions? Why are they not more open to working on solving these problems with external entities?
One big reason is that they are uneducated. And another is that there is no unity or collective agreement within the community. What would other people say or think if we decided to move forward is a constant underlying narrative here. They are scared that the leaders there will cause issues if they step up. They have fear of all these things. So they need to first be united on these decisions. Otherwise, even the work that we will do will go to waste.
Thank you both for sharing with us your experiences. I believe that more often than not, the efforts that go into implementation of a project are often overlooked, with almost everyone focusing on the bird's eye view and forgetting about all the background work that happens to keep the cogs turning. All these efforts would be rendered null and void if a desired and realistic impact is not created. We now have with us Vanaja and Govindraj, residents of Pulkeshi Nagar and Shakambiri Nagar respectively, who will be sharing with us the impact that WaterAid's intervention has had on their lives.
I am a resident of Deshya Nagar. My name is Vanaja and I am 32 years old. My husband works as a scrap picker and I have 3 kids. And I am a tailor working out of my home.
Vanaja avre,
The first time the WaterAid group came to your town, what were your thoughts about them?
We had our doubts the first time we were introduced to them. They asked us about the problems we were facing in the community. When we had an issue with the water tanker, they worked on the water drum and solved some of our basic water problems. And once we saw that they were here to help us, it built some trust and faith in them.
What did you think was different between WaterAid and the other groups that came earlier before them to help out?
Madam, they not only told us about all the problems to tackle and the plans that they had in mind, but also fixed all of them one by one. Unlike others that provide false promises, they addressed the situation really well, looked at how many houses were impacted and the household members, and made a detailed step-by-step plan. They made a map of the community with the houses, drainage systems, sump. Then they tackled each problem with the help of these plans and maps. People from WaterAid came to our area and sat there, talked about what the problems are in our area and what needs to be done. And then they collected 100 rupees from all of us to put it into the committee's bank account. They said if any issues turn up, you can utilize this money to fix them.
From the WaterAid side, we are conducting sessions, right? Like washing your hands, hygiene, etc. Do you attend any of these sessions?
I have attended some of these. If I don't have any work at home, I do attend these sessions. I learned quite a bit about proper hand washing from that session. I also attended a session where they explained period problems. Also, sessions on toilets and washrooms. We are all following these diligently.
You said that you, along with others, have attended these sessions. Have you seen people in the community being impacted by these sessions? Is anyone actually practicing what they have learned?
Since most community members have been here for more than 30 years, it will take some time for them to learn and understand these ways.
Whatever you have learned, are you teaching your kids too to follow the same thing?
Yes, regarding hand washing, period problems, and how to handle them. We are following them and doing our best to get our kids also to do the same.
Even after attending these events, people aren't practicing what they learn. What do you think is the reason?
They have been doing the same things for a very long time now, madam.
ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಅವರು
Whether they do it or not, we will continue to teach them.
ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮೇಡಮ್.
But why aren't they doing it?
Because some people are like that.
It's a habit. O&M or operation and maintenance. Were you previously aware of that?
No, ma'am. After Sham sir came, he started teaching us bit by bit. We began collecting 100 rupees monthly from every house.
ಮಂತ್ಲಿ 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಅದು ನಾವು
We have created 2 agent accounts.
ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
We deposit the collected amount in these bank accounts. If there is a problem, we use this money to fix it. And sir also helps us. We all sit together, come up with a solution to the problem, and then fix it.
ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಈಗ WaterAid
Before WaterAid started their work and after they finished it, what are the changes you have seen? Has it been helpful or has it not?
It has been very helpful, ma'am. Before, we had a drainage problem once a week. Every now and then, it was a big issue. Now, they have installed pipes and solved this problem. They are solving issues one by one. They sit together and discuss what problems we are facing. They are now working on the sump issue. They are doing it now and they have fixed the drainage issue as well. They are also fixing our overhead tanks.
ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೀನಾಗಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಅದರಿಂದ
How has this helped you all?
ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಾಗಿದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
It has really helped us. The toilet water used to leak into the sump. They are putting in new piping and mechanisms to fix this.
ಹೊಸಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು
My name is Govindaraja and I'm 37 years old. I am a resident of the Rajeshwari Nagara slum. About my background, I have my mother and father with me. My father used to rent vegetable carts and my mother does housework. I've been there for 3 years now. It used to always be a slum, but a few years ago they built some houses and made it a colony. I moved back here after that change.
ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ 3 years ಬ್ಯಾಕೇನೆ ನಾನು ಬಂದಿದ್ದು.
I was raised in the slum but was sent to a boarding school, because of which I wasn't in that area for many years. Now, for the last 3 years, I've gotten opportunity to understand the water problems in the area. In addition, since I was born here and my sister and her family live here, I was familiar with the problems for a while now.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಪರಿಚಯ.
WaterAid
When WaterAid first came to your community, what was your impression?
ಇಂಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು?
A lot of NGOs come to us, madam. So we thought you would do something small like the others and leave. But I was curious to know what they were planning to do and how they were going to do it. I simply just want to know because we all know how NGOs work, right? But what I liked about WaterAid was that I knew if they didn't succeed with their plans, it would be a huge loss for us as well as them. So initially, I spoke to everyone that WaterAid had contacted. I wanted to make sure they are set up for success as I like their plans and goals. If things didn't go well, it would not benefit anyone. Hence, in the initial stages itself, I got involved with the team and suggested ways to solve the problems. The WaterAid team realized what's true and what's false. So since then, I have consistently been working with the WaterAid team.
In the beginning, you did not trust them. Similarly, your community members would also not have trusted them.
ಏನಾಯಿತು
What changed to make you all trust us?
ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು?
Madam, what actually happened is that there are different people saying it's just another NGO and we shouldn't expect anything. They're going to take some pictures and leave, that's about it. But no one cared about hygiene, cleanliness, and water issues with so much dedication like WaterAid did. Some people would come and give a loan to the Women's Association. If the loan wasn't paid back, they'd trouble us. But focusing on water, how important water is, to what extent we should be clean, and what issues will arise if we lack cleanliness, WaterAid was able to attract our community's attention a little by little. In this way, the volunteers had their first success.
You said you worked with the WaterAid team and supported them. Which processes of WaterAid did you like the best? What did you like about the way they worked?
NGOs usually just come in and they normally don't do grassroots level work. They did not make an effort to understand the basic underlying issues in the past. They did no foundational work to find out what the actual problem is. You're supposed to find those issues in the first place, figure out those solutions, and then have a discussion with the community and include the community, asking them what they want and how the proposed solutions would work for them. And then get their buy-in and then begin acting on the actual solution. But WaterAid did all of this, and that's what I liked about the way they worked.
You mentioned they were conducting sessions and raising awareness. Have you attended any of these workshops or sessions?
Yes, madam, I've been to several of these sessions. Mainly there was an O&M training session in the SCM house. Kshitij attended it and important people from the area were attending too. They had given intervention trainings to the people in the area. How to talk to each other about problems, how they can face them and how they can solve them. Firstly, they taught us the importance of the O&M committee. Secondly, Pavitra and her team taught us the importance of cleaning, personal hygiene and how to use water and drink clean water. Also, the ill effects of not drinking enough water too. Again, how important cleanliness as well was super important to all of us. How to use toilets and how to wash your hands after were also other topics they spoke about. They would ask me when is the best time to raise awareness. I would suggest to do it in the evenings when everyone is free. I would help them. Sir used a projector to teach everyone. Not everyone on the team knew Tamil, so I would help by translating and giving my inputs. Once we had a big awareness event about hand washing too. All our community children danced at that event and they had a gala time. You folks at WaterAid have done many programs and I have participated in all of them. Whenever I have time, I have given WaterAid my 100% effort.
All these sessions have been attended by the community people. Have you witnessed any changes in their habits, even a little bit?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ
Not just a little, I've seen a lot of change. For example, water is not the only issue in my area. There were also thefts. The pipes put down by you were being stolen in front of me. I would question them saying some angels have come and helped us. If you steal these pipes, won't our water issues come back? Now they've stopped stealing. Before, the government would put the pipes and no one cared if they were stolen. Another example is when people use water to wash their vehicles and big lorries, others turn off the water supply. We tell them to go pay to get their vehicles washed and this water is meant for us to drink. Yet another example is during the summer season when there's scarcity of water. But because of all this awareness, they realize how important water really is. And then sanitation, everyone urinated wherever they liked. Now other people will scold you for doing that, saying they built a toilet for you at home. Go use it, children play around here. I observed that there is an internal discussion going on in the community. This is the impact that WaterAid has had on our community.
this is the impact what WaterAid done in our community.
You said you've attended the sessions, and you said there was no trust in the beginning. It built up gradually. What motivation did you have to make a change in your family?
Actually, I took this a little personally, madam. Because I have a community work background, I made some changes in my building. I explained to my mother that these were the water issues. There is an NGO and they are helping us in these ways. I told our father and mother that we should make an effort to help them out. My father started telling his friends in our colony. First, I changed my water needs and didn't use more than what was necessary. Now, of course, because there's a water problem, everyone automatically starts using less water. Secondly, there were people in the community that wasted water by not being careful with their consumption, thinking that it comes at no cost to them. We raised awareness with these types of people too. We had the chance to make some changes in this way.
You've taken so much initiative and have changed so much on your own. Why aren't other people doing the same?
The people from our communities are not from the modern kind of communities, madam. We used to live in the slums where we defecated in the open and buried it with mud. There are a lot of people who have lived like that. So it is very difficult for them to adapt to this new way of living and new way of thinking. They also need some time. They think, I used to live life like that. Why should I change now? We were all doing fine then. The people that understand this new way of life are very, very few. So WaterAid is trying to educate them, people like me who try to be socially responsible in the community, to try to educate others in the community. There is no retaliation, but they are all afraid of change. But people like us advocate the benefits of these changes.
You've said there has been resistance. So, what can be changed at a community level today, as in what more can be done? Or what are you doing about it?
With WaterAid's help, the main thing we have learned is about the O&M committee. There were so many challenges earlier with actually implementing that. What are they going to do? They are here to scam 50 rupees from us. They're simply doing this as a scam. It has been 3 months now since we started collecting this money. We have appointed a person to collect it and opened an account to deposit the money. All water related work is being tracked in a book. We also track the work that each person has been doing. We also recheck whether the building is getting water today or not. We have helped WaterAid do this and successfully execute this project. If WaterAid brings pipes or other items, we ensure they are stored safely. We have water availability to a certain degree, but technically we do not have electricity in the area, which is now in discussion with the slum board. We all went to the slum board at one point and held a meeting there, and they took it very seriously. I am personally following up with that now. Pavitra madam also follows up on that. They give their requirements in terms of the wires they need and other things. We make careful notes of these and ensure they get them from the O&M committee. We are on track to getting clean water in each house very soon. We are also paying salaries from the O&M committee from next month through the post office. We also give receipts for this 50 rupees that we take from them. People have got a lot of faith in us now. Where there was no system for any of this, we have actually created one. This is the possibility of WaterAid. Without WaterAid coming in, it would not have been possible for us to do it. Who would actually believe us? Everyone assumes they'll be cheated of their money, but when it is done in an organized way, it builds a lot of trust.
Was this concept of O&M or operation and maintenance known in the community? Or have you personally worked on it before?
Well, I knew it at the government level, but how to apply it broadly in our community was taught by WaterAid. They taught us to use existing systems to benefit us. They asked us if we had forgotten about it or if no one told us about this before. What is happening now is the people have decided to do the work and there are some who don't. For example, when Pavitra and Girish came, people gather and take them very seriously. That is called responding and being proactive. So now, this O&M committee will continue to do a lot of work. We target the women with all our activities since women have the most association with water and its issues in the community. Another challenge is that there are so many men who question the women's capabilities, so the O&M committee have taken it up as a challenge to them. Why not? If everyone can do it, women can do it too, right? And then this idea flows through the community and then people slowly join the cause.
On one hand, we heard from Vanaja about the consistent efforts being made by the community at Pulkeshi Nagar to take collective responsibility for the upkeep of infrastructure created in their area. On the flip side, we heard from Govindraj the struggles of bringing together a community that is so divided that the concept of unity is almost alien. Every journey is laden with challenges. Even a happily ever after is contingent to constant efforts. In our next episode, we will have experts on water and water quality who share their expertise on the area and help us understand the current scenario of water supply and quality in the city of Bengaluru. That brings us to the end of episode 3 of From the Margins to the Mainstream.